بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, we give all thanks and praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us the life, granting us the health to reach the 8th day successfully of this blessed month of Ramadan. We ask that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from each and every one of us all our acts of ibadah and may He forgive us our shortcomings. The ayats that were recited by the Imam from the very first rak'ah to the 6th rak'ah, in summary, all of them were teaching or dealing with issues pertaining to the ummah, from securing and safeguarding the lives of the weak and the innocent and the oppressed, to inspiring the believers to stand up for what is right and what is just, to fighting and to the rules of engagement when fighting, to the punishment for the one who takes the life of a believer muta'ammidan, intentionally, and then to belief and to those who disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and their recompense in the sight of Allah. I wanted to talk about this briefly because the ayah I was to focus on, or the ayats were to focus on, was from yesterday, where, as we all know, this is the surah An-Nisa, and one particular ayah which every man has memorized. And every man, when I say every man, whether married or not married, they have memorized this ayah. And every woman also has memorized this ayah. For good or for bad, they have also memorized it. But inshallah, for good. But this time I will come from a very different angle with respect to the issue of polygamy. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, and if you are afraid, وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تُقْسِطُوا فِي الْيَتَامِ فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَعَ. This is the ayah that permits a man to marry more than one wife, 2 or 3 or 4. But this time I will come from a very different angle, and I will start with the sisters and then come back to the brothers. You see, the issue of polygamy is a very sensitive issue for our sisters, we admit, because there are a lot of things that run through their minds. Whenever the husband tells them that I am about to take another wife, there are various things they go through. You might not understand it because you are a man. To you, hey, it is what Allah has willed, or it is what Allah has given us the opportunity as men to do. But for the women, it's quite different, especially in our times of today. The thoughts that run through their minds could be from, maybe I am not good enough and that's why he wants to take a second wife. Maybe he doesn't love me anymore. Maybe I have become old and that's why he feels he wants someone younger. After all we have gone through, I was with him when we were on one small katipa. And now we are in Aso Villa and he wants to bring one sweet 16 to take over my place. Or the most popular of them all, Babu Sunnah Ndezei, say one Sunnah. There is no other Sunnah he will do except this Sunnah. These are emotions that the women go through, and naturally so. Why? Because no woman wants to share the one she perceives as the love of her life. It is a difficulty for every woman. Same imani, except for the one that has faith. They will not want to share. That's why when you are telling a woman and you are quoting ayats for her, she doesn't hear the ayah. If you come and tell her, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ, you will not be righteous until you spend out of what you love, or you sacrifice what you love. She will tell you, this is not the only thing I can sacrifice. She loves her husband and naturally she wants to protect it. But also naturally there are things that they see and they hear of in society. Maybe the movies they watch today on television, Nollywood and all of that shapens their minds to think that marriage or polygamy can be a terrible thing, can be a horrible thing. You see issues of women using sihr to draw the attention of the man. And these are all things that they go through. But the truth is, my dear sisters, and may Allah bless you and honor you, This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has stipulated, and it is the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It comes with its conditions, and they are very strict conditions. But notwithstanding, it is not for us to go against what Allah and His Messenger have made permissible and allowed in the deen. But it's not for us to push it down their throats and force them to swallow it. It's for us to make them understand and accept it gradually. The reason I'm saying this is because a lot of the sisters don't understand. Maybe you are married today to a good man. He takes care of you, takes care of your family, doesn't want you to suffer, so you don't work, you don't do anything. You are married for years, and one day you wake up and your husband does not wake up beside you. Allah takes the soul of the man who was your protector and your guardian and the one who maintained you. Now you have children. Now you are a widow. You are responsible for yourself and for these little ones. You don't have a job. You don't have a certificate. And even if you do, because of how competitive it is to get a job today, the woman cannot survive in the society. So what happens? Maybe after a year, 2 years, friends remember her. They take gifts to her. They remember the children. 3 years, 4 years, they forget about her. And she's left alone. And all of a sudden, her friends don't want to be around her anymore. Why? Because she doesn't have the iPhone X. Because she doesn't drive a nice car. Now she's not wearing the Gucci slippers. She's looking the way she's looking. And so naturally, she becomes depressed. And with the increase in mental health issues, she begins to think she's less of a woman than she truly is. And if not careful, this leads her to either committing suicide or her life is taken away because of sadness and depression. And this is what is happening to a lot of our sisters. But a lot of the sisters don't want to hear polygamy. But it's because of what they have seen in society and how we have treated the issue as well. So may Allah help them. May Allah help us as well to be better husbands to them, so that if ever we bring this issue before them, they accept it. A sister once came to me once in this masjid, and she told me that she fought with her husband. Why did she fight with her husband? Because she asked her husband to take a second wife, and he said he wouldn't. And they had a fight. When I heard this, I said, we still have these sort of women. It was shocking. But she said everything she said, and she said it with faith. Why? Because she's married to a good man. She's married to a man she knows will take care of another woman as he is taking care of her. Some women, they'll say, Yetashi mada, so let him go if he wants to take a second wife. Let someone else come and feel the pain I am feeling. And unfortunately, that is the case for a lot of marriages today and a lot of men today. So for our sisters, I'm saying this not because I want them to swallow this pill. It is a bitter pill for them to swallow. But if they do it with iman, Allah will elevate their status. Coming to the men, my dear brothers, Allah has permitted for you, for all of us, to take more than one wife, yes. But if we fear we cannot be just, then let us stick to one. But justice here, equity here, does not mean the same exact thing you give to wife one, you give to wife two. Your first wife might have 3 or 4 children. Your second wife, you're marrying her, probably she's a widow, or probably she's never been married, but she has no children. You cannot give the first wife the same items you give to the second wife. There must be equity between them. And you cannot love both of them equally. The women must understand this too. Men cannot love 2 women equally in a polygamy. But they will be just in ensuring that they are safe, that they are catered for, that they are well fed, and that no one insults their integrity. The Muslims of before were Muslims. The men were men that stood to protect the women from any harm. That's why men could go to war with others because of the honor and integrity of a Muslim woman. Today we are the men that insult and abuse our Muslim women. And this is not fair. Abu Jahl, we all know Abu Jahl, yes? Abu Jahl, a kafir, the one that chastised Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in Mecca and a lot of Sahabas. Abu Jahl never raised his hand on his wife once. Abu Jahl never raised his hand on his wife. Today we have men that turn their wives into punching bags. How will such a woman be supportive of him if he wants to go into a polygamy? So we must be very wary of this. And this is why on a different note I said instead of taking it the way I have done numerous years, let us really talk to ourselves honestly, that if we do polygamy, let us be sincere and do it for the sake of Allah, and Allah will bless us and bless our homes and bless our families. May Allah bless our homes and bless our families, and may He forgive us our shortcomings as well. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم.